Oh, What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Joining today is my co-host, Kelsey.
Hey, yo.
Yas. Had something I want. Oh, so I'm about to buy some candy. I want candy. About to buy candy.
Of all the things I expected you to say, this was not the thing.
Wait.
What?
Well,
why are you buying candy? Why
okay.
are you not only buying candy, but you're this excited about it?
Okay, well, let's say this. What do you think that I guess the funner way to play this would be, what do you think I was going to talk about?
I didn't have a clue, but
Okay.
I'm going to buy some candy was not the start that I was expecting.
I expected you fully to be like, oh, you were obviously going to talk about Final Fantasy VII or something like that, because that's all you ever talk about. So I thought that's where you were going to go.
That is accurate, but I was going to try to not mention it, so we had one podcast where it didn't come up at all. But we failed at this time. We'll try again next week.
Well, we were going to do that anyway, because that's why I'm buying the candy.
What?
Yeah, it's a DLC contest. You get special bracelets in the game that actually hold materia, which is weird because the first game, your accessories would not hold materia. So you get to hold more materia if you buy candy. Yes. If you buy candy.
Okay.
They're holding a contest with Butterfinger, and you have to buy it on a specific day at a specific time, and you have to buy specific bars. And then you have to take a picture of the receipt and upload it, and then they send you your code with all of the stuff for the bracelets.
So, how far are you willing to drive to find one of these things?
Why would I have to drive far? It's regular pieces of candy. It's not like anything special. It's no special wrappers or anything. It's just regular candy.
What if you go to wherever you go to buy your candy? I'm still making fun of you because that was just the weirdest delivery of the word candy
I want candy.
I've ever heard. Candy.
I want candy.
Stop it! I hate it.
I want candy.
It's getting worse. We're soon to become victims of semantic satiation. We have got to stop saying the word.
I want candy. Okay, yes.
I hate you. What if you go to the place where you go to buy your candy and there are no Butterfingers? And then you go to another place and there are no Butterfingers. Like, how far are you willing to drive?
I'd be surprised. See, this is how far I'm willing to put into this. You have to have it done by 11 o'clock midnight or 11 o'clock p.m. on a specific day. I'm willing to literally be at that store at like 10:45 waiting until 11. And then I'm going to grab my candy bars, buy them all on one receipt, and then send the picture in, and then get my bracelets and be done.
You have to do it before 11.
No. 11 is when it starts.
Aha. Okay.
And there's
You're willing
limited.
to just stand there with an armful of Butterfingers waiting for
I only have to
11.
buy, in order for me to get all the bracelets, I only have to buy 10 candy bars.
Okay. Do you like Butterfinger at all?
Not really, no.
Okay. I used to, and then they were my favorite candy bar, and then I slowly realized, like, every time you ate them, they just stick to your teeth, and you're sitting there trying to, like, chew your way through this thing, and you have to, like, use your fingernail to carve it off, and there are a few things less sexy than eating a Butterfinger than talking to somebody and be like, yeah, great, I get this out of my teeth. Like, you just don't do it. Just don't eat the Butterfinger. That's the final answer.
Babe Ruth is one of them, and I like Babe Ruth, so...
So Butterfingers, Babe Ruth, what else?
But you have to buy specific ones. So specific ones and specific sizes. So there's Butterfinger, Babe Ruth, and Crunch Bar.
Okay.
Are the three brands.
Whatever it is, you have an exact list of what you have to buy.
I got it all ready. Yeah, I've got it all ready.
Like on your phone, so when you go there, you don't fuck this up.
It has the UPCs on it and everything. Yep.
Good. Because if you fucked that up and you didn't find out until after the contest,
well, the only thing that really sucks that I'm really worried about is there's only a specific amount of each bracelet, and all 50 states qualify. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens.
Ooh, if someone gets between you and a bracelet.
I mean, I'm really not too overly concerned because it's a DLC that not everybody's able to get. Usually with stuff like that, it really doesn't have an effect on the game at all because not everybody has access to it. It's more cosmetic than anything else.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
not
but-
too overly concerned. And none of the bracelets like took me away either. I didn't look at a single bracelet. It was like, oh, that looks
I must have
amazing.
this.
Yeah, like I could
Okay.
literally not participate in this and be just fine. I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. At the worst part, I've got 10 candy bars that I could bring into my job the next day and be like, "Here, everybody, take candy." And
This
be,
is
like,
the most
luck guy
chill.
for the day.
This is the most chill I've heard you be about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
Without
I mean,
question.
if it was something different, like a contest to win a life-size Buster Blade, I'd be freaking the fuck out right now.
You would be taking off work. You would have a game plan. You would be bringing other people into it. It would be insane.
Speaking about taking off work, I was extremely worried about taking off work with all my vacation time for whenever the release date was in March, because it was on Tuesday. With the release date get pushed back, it's on a Friday.
Hey,
right?
perfect.
So I can just take Friday and Monday off, and I got 4 days to just versus having to take Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. So there is that, which I'm pretty excited about. So yep, April 10th will be on a Friday. Whoop, whoop. Super pumped.
I just Googled Final Fantasy VII release date, and it gave me the 1997 answer. And I was like, I'm Googling this in 2020. What do you think I'm fucking asking you, damn it?
That's funny. April 10th, 2020. Yeah. Super pumped on a Friday. Let's get it. Cause
not as close as I want it to be.
No, me neither. But I'll fucking take it. It's on a Friday. Because I was talking to some buddies at work today, and they're all like, "You're taking off for a video game?" And I was like, yeah. It all started because we were all sitting there talking about an account, and then my buddy just looked up because at my desk I actually have so in my cubicle, should I say, I have a drawer that is up top. And on top of that, like everybody has this, on top of that is where people normally put like their plants or whatever. I've got my copy of Final Fantasy VII up there. One of my copies.
One of them.
Yes. Not my black
The least valuable one?
Correct. Yes. Not my black label, and the case has seen better days. So, yes. For sure. Not the most valuable one. No. And he was looking at the back of it from where his cubicle is and where we were all talking that he can only see the back of it. And he's like, "How many times have you played that game?" And I was like, I can't count that.
yeah, I don't count that high.
Well, the best part was that he's all like, "Well, have you played any of the others or any of the other ones in the series?" I was like, "Yeah, I've played all the way up to 4, or I've played all the way up to 13. I never played 14 or 11 because they were online only, and I just haven't got around to playing 15 yet." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's all like, "But you just really like to play 7." I was like, "Well, I mean, whenever you got to sit down and play 7, like, there's a lot more that just goes into it than just playing 7. Like, you've got Before Crisis, and you've got Crisis Core, and you've got Dirge of Cerberus, and then you've got the movie, and then you got the 22 audiobooks." And once I said 22 audiobooks, his face was just like, I had no idea all this existed. He's like, "I didn't even finish the game." Like, because he was just talking about how the fact that he thought it was a ripoff, that you're only going to be able to be in Midgar and that the game ends after you escape Midgar. He's like, "Because I remember that it happens pretty early on in the game, right?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's all like, "Well, then, I mean, they're releasing a game. It's going to be like, what, 10 hours worth of gameplay?" And I was like, No. You got to explore like very little parts of Sector 7 and Sector 5, and that was like it. And then Shinra Tower. Now you get all 8 sectors, top and bottom, to explore. Not to mention side quests, because there's going to be tons of NPCs with side quests. They already actually
they're freaking
released.
Better be.
Oh, yeah. They already actually released one of the main NPCs. Is a little kid that actually works for Hojo. He's a little kid, and he likes to do testing experiments. And what's actually cool. Well, what's cool about this that I'm actually excited about is that in the game, in the original, whenever you release Red 13 and Aerith from the chamber, that monster comes up that is one of Hojo's creations to fight you. And Red 13 even goes, "This is a very strong monster. Let me help you fight it." And that's your first time ever being able to fight with Red 13 on your team. They think that judging on how many of the quests that you've done, so that way Hojo can analyze the information, will be how strong that monster will be by the time you get to it.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the speculation that's out there right now. So it could be like, if you don't do any of the quests, just this baby little infant fucking monster you're gonna fucking kill instantly, or this fucking insane hard goddamn mini boss, due to the fact of you doing all this research for Hojo to strengthen this monster, not knowing it the entire time. That's like
that'd
one of the
be
biggest
neat
theories that are out there right now. So I do have something to bitch about. it's not Final Fantasy VII related, but I do have something to bitch about. So I went and saw the new My Hero Academia movie. And I know you don't watch My Hero Academia, so I'm not gonna like get into the actual like stuff. But here's where my issue is. Movie was good. Movie was really good. I enjoyed the movie. The only thing that I didn't enjoy was like the volume seemed pretty fucking low. Like definitely during the beginning, they brought it up a little bit, but the volume was actually very low. The beginning of the movie, like it wasn't even like the volume. It was like just the voices were like low. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. And it was funny too because it was like everybody in the theater just like naturally just got super fucking quiet. Like, you know, there's normally quiet and people coughing and moving around and shit. Like everybody was as dead quiet as could possibly be. So
because nobody could hear a damn thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Anyways, so it did get a little bit louder, which was fine. And the movie was great. I enjoyed it. So let me know in the comments if you actually know the answer to this. I don't think the movie has been considered canon or not canon yet. But here's where my issue with it, regardless whether it's canon or not canon, is that there's a character that makes and if you don't want any spoiler alerts, I'm not going to do any names. But if you see the movie, it's probably pretty easy to figure it out. Dude, if you haven't figured it out by now, if you have seen the movie, I really don't want to tell you, but I guess you can just tune out. I don't know, and then tune back in like fucking 20 minutes. I don't fucking know. I don't know how long this rant is going to take. But anyways, so
God, buckle up, everybody.
So I don't know if it's canon or not canon considered yet, because the first movie was done in a way that at first you thought it was going to be not canon, and they left it in a way that you're like, okay, well, they physically didn't change anything to the actual canon story, so it could be considered canon. Like, it physically could. Nothing changed. There was like one part, because like for this, people obviously know, they watch the show, but Deku, he can't control the quirk he has because it was given to him, so his body's not used to it. So whenever he goes to use his like moves, it fucks his body up. Like, he breaks his arms all the fucking time.
Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah, and in the movie, they give him a gauntlet that reinforces his arm. And I was like, well, that's automatically gonna... He doesn't have that in the show, so therefore this is already not canon. But in the movie, he can only use it 3 times, and then it busts the gauntlet, and he uses it all 3 times, and then the gauntlet's just done. And I was like, okay, well,
so they
now
could
it's
make it canon.
Exactly, they could make it canon because nothing changed in the story at all.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a huge fan theory. And in the huge fan theory, you know what? Actually, we have so many people that watch My Hero Academia and actually would really love to hear this conversation. We're just going to fucking talk about it. Okay. So if you don't want spoilers, you haven't seen the movie, fuck off. So there's a huge fan theory.
Do you want to have this conversation with me, or do you want to by any chance save
because
this?
You're an anime fan, you don't actually have to have the context.
Okay.
At all. So there's a huge fan theory about the doctor. Now, in the very beginning of the fucking anime, there's a doctor, and Deku's mom takes Deku to the doctor. And he tells her that Deku will never have a quirk. That he has an extra bone in his pinky toe, and this has been linked up to other people that if they have this extra, or not extra bone, extra joint, that they have this extra joint, they just don't have quirks. They just it's like basically the people who have quirks have their bodies have phased this out. They're at the next point of, you know, human peak. They don't need that extra joint. So everybody has a quirk, doesn't have that joint. Now, Deku's mom is a telepath or telekinetic more, and she can actually bring small objects closer to her without touching them. And his dad is a fire breather, but you've never seen his dad. We just hear his mom say that. We've never seen Deku's dad. And this season 4, almost done. We've never seen Deku's dad. Now, being born, you're either going to adopt one of the 2 quirks of your parents or a combination of both. For like instance, one of the fan favorites, Todoroki, Tony's favorite, Dylan's favorite, he's half fire, half ice because his dad is fire and his mom's ice. And he's literally split right down the middle. Like, even his hair, half of his hair is white, the other half is red. Like, he is split directly down the middle. 2 color eyes, everything.
Okay.
So Deku doesn't have a quirk, and he's the main character of the story. All Might, who is the strongest hero, actually has a quirk called One for All that he then tells Deku can be passed down to anybody. He can give Deku his quirk and chooses to do that. Like, Deku is his successor, and what it does is it moves from person to person, strengthening itself and giving the knowledge of that quirk to the next holder. And if the holder possesses a quirk already, that quirk can then be imbued inside One for All for the next user to use as well.
So by choosing Deku, he actually made this like thing less strong because it could have chosen.
He
It
could have
could have
chosen
been
anybody.
improved.
Yeah, it could have been
It
improved.
could have been improved. Yeah.
But he saw a kid who had no quirk, couldn't fight for himself, wanted to be a hero so bad that he was literally putting himself in danger to save people against actual like villains and shit without a quirk. And he's like, that's what it means to be a hero. I'm going to be dying at some point. You could be the next symbol. Like, All Might's whole thing is like, there needs to be a symbol for justice. And that's what I am. I am the symbol of justice. I'm the reason why crime is down, because villains are scared of me. Like, that's he wants to be someone to that people, when they see him, they know they're safe. So he always has a smile constantly. That's what he's known for, is always having a smile.
Aw.
And so Deku wants to be just like that. So where my issue comes into play is one of the biggest fan theories out there is that this doctor actually works for All for One. All for One is the evil counterpart to One for All, where he can steal other people's quirks and then make it into his own and have multiple fucking quirks.
So the guess is that he is actually stealing people's quirks when they take him to the doctor?
The guess is that the doctor lied about Deku having no quirk to begin with. And that at some point, when shit hits the fan and All for One's just not cutting it, or One for All's just not cutting it, that we're going to see Deku's actual quirk. It will come out like of a stress-induced fucking situation, and we'll see whatever fucking combination between his mother and his father that he has.
He can bring candles close to him.
Right. Sure.
Sorry.
So
it's just not helpful.
Where my issue comes into play is that if the movie is considered not canon or canon, it has a gigantic spoiler for the actual canon of the series. Because they break a guy out of prison who can steal quirks that's not All for One, due to this medical treatment thing that he's fucking got, where he can just literally suck the quirk out of somebody. It's fucking weird.
Ew.
And well, it does it like it looks like vapors basically come out of the person's body, but they like hold him by their fucking head and just like kind of strangle.
So they
him,
can enter him basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then they go, well, thank God the doctor told us about this, and then it shows that doctor. But you only
same doctor?
Yeah, it's the same doctor. You only see that doctor for like 20 seconds in like episode 1, and that's it. Since then, we have not seen the doctor again. So I don't know if they're just hoping that everybody fucking forgot about this guy or what. I can't forget about him because he looks like Dr. Robotnik. He's got like the goggles and everything. Like, he looks like Dr. Robotnik. So I'm like, fucking, I as soon as I saw him on TV, I was like, well, fuck me. Is that not a spoiler from the manga? Probably. Like, holy shit. Because if they choose for it to be not canon, they can't do anything with the doctor, because then that makes that a spoiler alert. That makes that movie a spoiler alert. Because I'm completely caught up on season 4, besides the last 2 episodes that are out right now, because the dub is 2 weeks behind. And the doctor has not been even mentioned this entire season. Not even mentioned. And if it is canon, then once again, it's a huge fucking spoiler alert. And it shouldn't have come out in the middle of a season, because the season's not over yet. It shouldn't have come out in the middle of a fucking season. Like, people should be able to go see these movies and not worry about it spoiling the season that is currently airing. That doesn't make sense on why they would air that before the fucking season is done if it contains spoilers. That doesn't make sense. So,
unless if you were watching it in dubbed, it wouldn't be spoiling anything because something's coming in the next 2 episodes.
Possibly. I could have just spoiled myself in the next 2 episodes, which, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal, because it's something that I've had a theory about for a while now, that he was evil and that he did lie to Deku, and at some point we're going to see Deku's actual fucking quirk. I don't know why he would lie to Deku. I don't quite know how that matches up, because it doesn't look like... I mean, Deku was like fucking 3. So it's not like the fucking All for One, All for One knew that was going to be All Might's successor. So I don't know really what the point in lying to Deku would have been. They'll have to definitely come up with some crazy fucking story for me to understand that shit. That's for fucking sure. But the rest of the movie was really good. I will say this, though. The final fight was hard for me to get on board with. So I'm a huge Deku fan. Love Deku. He's my favorite character. He's a fucking beast. Huge spoiler for the movie coming up, folks. Obviously, the doctor shit was already a spoiler, but just letting you know, once again, reiterating. The final fight scene, they're getting their asses whipped by this fucking villain. And basically the whole premise of the movie is that they're going to an island that doesn't have heroes anymore because they've all retired. There hasn't been crime on this island in the last 30 years. Besides like little petty shit. But because they're all high school students, it's a chance for them to actually act hero-wise without there being too much of a risk. So they don't have to worry about villains or anything. So they're doing shit like someone's car broke down and they send the electric guy out to go fucking charge up the fucking car battery type deal. That kind of shit, you know, like fucking helping the old lady get to the grocery store type shit.
Yeah, it's your neighborhood superhero stuff.
Correct, exactly. A whole bunch of kids, and the work means a lot to the kids. They're happy that they're actually being able to be considered as heroes, and the town is really thankful for it. And they all show up and make them this huge fucking dinner and shit like that as thanks and everything else. Like, it's fucking awesome. So the final fight, there's a villain that attacks the guy that fucking sucks powers, and he's got fucking 3 other people with him. And they attack this island because they're looking for this little kid. And the reason why he's looking for this little kid is that this little kid has the same blood type as him. And he has a cell-changing quirk where he can literally rearrange cells, change cells in order to, like, speed heal someone completely.
Ooh, that's useful.
Very useful. Because he already stole the quirk from the kid's father, but the blood type didn't match. And so therefore, it didn't work and he had to get rid of it. So now the father just doesn't have a quirk, which kind of fucking sucks, but just is what it is. So the son has it. The daughter has the mother's quirk. You don't hear much about the mother because she's dead. But the daughter has the mother's quirk where she can make gigantic illusions and stuff like that to scare people. Which he's not terrified of her illusions at all. Although the funniest part about her illusion thing was like they're trapped in this forest and Deku's trying to save them from this guy. I mean, this guy's got like fucking 12, or well, his name is 9. And that's because he can hold 9 quirks. And I think he has like 7 at the moment. And he's like fucking Deku up. And then like she makes a gigantic version of Deku, but it's like all fat and cartoony looking. And she makes it say like, you need to come here to help Deku, and it's like so big you can see it all the way across the island. So that way, like, because they cut communications down, so the heroes couldn't get in contact with each other. So that way, all the other students knew where Deku was and could come help out.
Yeah.
So my issue is that there's 2 kids, the main 2 kids in the story who are big fans of All Might is Deku and Bakugo, and they've been friends, or not. I'm sorry, not friends. They've known each other since they were little kids. They were friends to start, and then Bakugo started to get his quirk, and Deku didn't get his, and Bakugo became a bully and started bullying Deku all the time.
Oh, boo. Don't be that person.
Don't be that person. But the show did a really good thing, and I'm really proud that the show did this because it made me love it even more. They always had this rivalry between Bakugo and Deku without actually addressing it. And it got to the point to where like the fans were basically begging for like something to prove that they knew this or were going to know this. And then the show gave it to them in a fashion that, 1, didn't destroy it, didn't make it seem like they did it directly because of the fans, and 2, didn't wait too long for people to lose interest. So there's literally like one night where Deku, where Bakugo's like, we need to have a conversation about your quirk. Because Bakugo's pissed. He wants to be the number 1 fucking hero. And now all of a sudden the guy that's been weaker than him, that's never had a quirk, all of a sudden just has a quirk out of nowhere. And his favorite hero is losing his strength. And it looks like Deku has the same kind of power. Because they're not telling anybody. All Might's not telling anybody. And so he's like, we need to have a conversation about your quirk. And they go and duke it out. And like Deku, fucking, I love Deku so much. Like he just has things that he says that just fucking really get me the chills. And he's literally like, at one point, he's like, I'm not going to be your punching bag anymore, Bakugo. If you want to fight, we're going to do this for real. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Oh, God.
His name is actually Izuku Midoriya. Bakugo calls him Deku as an insult. I don't know what the insult means, but he calls him Deku as an insult. And then whenever he attends UA High for the first time, which is the most prestigious hero school, and gets in without a quirk, which pissed Bakugo off, for sure.
How did he manage that?
Well, he got the quirk, but he literally used it, and like I told you, he didn't know how to use it yet, and literally broke both of his legs and his arm in one go, and physically couldn't move.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and it's because they had to destroy these robots, and there were 4 different categories of robots, and category 0 was a gigantic robot, and it was worth 0 points. So they're like, if you see this, just run away. Don't waste your time. But it was fucking huge. It was the biggest robot. And it was about to run over this one girl that Deku has a crush on named Uraka. And so he And while everybody was running away, he jumped towards the beast and used fucking All for One to destroy the fucking machine, and then fucked himself up and couldn't do anything. And then why he started crying, because he cries literally every episode, but he started crying because he thought that obviously he failed. And then they show him a video where All Might's talking to him, and All Might announces that he's actually going to be teaching at UA and going to be his teacher. But on top of that, he's all like, everybody was judged on the points they got, yes, but there's more to that than being a hero, and that's saving someone in need. You saw someone in need, so you decided to save them when everybody else chose to run away, so you have passed. Like, that was worth that many points because he actually saved somebody. So
cool.
That's how he got in. It pisses Bakugo off because Bakugo is destroying shit left and right. Because Bakugo's quirk is that he sweats, or his sweat is like nitroglycerin. So he can actually use it to fucking make explosions and shit. Like, and he is really good.
That's convenient.
He uses it to make himself fly. He uses it to like get around his enemies. Like, he'll be like flying directly at an enemy and like blast the ground to flip over them and then fucking blast them in the back and shit. Like, he's really coordinated with his fucking quirk for a kid. Like, already he is very coordinated. And so obviously he's just blasting himself all the way around the city, blowing up all these fucking robots and getting the fucking highest score. And it's like, well, how the fuck did you get in type deal? Anyways, so Uraraka, she tells Deku that she thinks Deku is a cute name and that would make a great hero name. And that's when he decides he wants that to be his hero name. And the coolest part to me is there's this one fight scene where it's him versus Bakugo, and they're doing this training exercise where Bakugo's teamed up with someone else to be a villain, and they're trying to protect a weapon, and Deku and Uraraka are teamed up to be the heroes to go in and take the weapon away. And it's a training exercise to try to get used to fighting in close quarters. And Bakugo is literally like, I don't give a fuck about the weapon. I'm here to settle the score. I'm going to fuck Deku up. That's all he's there for. And Bakugo's a dick, but you actually like Bakugo. Trust me. Anyways, but so he comes out and he ends up like fucking up half of Deku's mask. Deku's mask is fucking dope. Like he it's like this bunny rabbit looking thing, but it's funny because the way he designed it, the two rabbit ears kind of look like All Might's two gigantic pieces of hair that stick up. And I told you All Might's always smiling, so the bottom half of the rabbit's mouth is just nothing but teeth. And when All Might first sees it, he's like, oh my god, could you be more obvious? Like, it's so fucking funny. He's such a fanboy, it's ridiculous. But his mom made him the outfit, versus everybody else turned in their school recs to get their costumes. His mom made him the outfit, so he doesn't want to give it up because it means something to him.
Yeah.
And Bakugo like goes to explode him and rips off like half his fucking mask. And then Deku has been watching all these heroes for so many years and taking notes. He has notebooks on notebooks on notebooks about like how everybody does everything. He knows how Bakugo fights. He always starts with like a right hook. So he goes to do the right hook. Deku like turns, grabs his arm and flips him over his fucking body because he can't use his quirk yet because he knows if he fucks himself up, he's not going to be able to finish the test. So he has to save his quirk for an opportune time versus now. He's like, if I use, because he's talking in his head the whole time too. He's like, if I use my quirk now, I'll be disqualified because I won't be able to move, and that will screw over my score and Uraraka's. I got to be smart about this. So he slams Bakugo into the ground, and Bakugo like looks up at him, and Deku's all like, I'm not the same defenseless little kid anymore. For now on, Deku's the name of a hero. And I was like, kick his ass, Deku! Get him! It's probably my favorite fucking moment in the anime. It's so hype. Oh my god. And then it just goes to Uraraka, and she remembers calling him Deku, and she didn't know that it was an insult. And she's like, oh my god, I started. Oh wow. Like, holy shit. Yeah, like this meant a lot to this kid that I had no fucking idea. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But anyways, back to the fucking movie. Deku and him are getting their asses handed to him, Deku and Bakugo. And then Deku notices that the only way for them to win is if Deku and Bakugo touch hands, because Bakugo's hands all cut up and open, and so is Deku's. Deku's blood will touch inside of Bakugo, and he'll give him One for All. And then One for All will be combined with his quirk, because All Might was still able to use One for All for a little bit, and now he can't use it anymore because it's officially gone. Like, he used the last of his embers to finish off his arc, which was destroying All for One. Like, they did that perfect. Like, All Might was able to finish his arc and then lead into Deku without it being like Deku has to clean up what All Might couldn't finish. Which was really well done. Very well done. Like, fucking bravo. Like, a lot of animes fucked that up, and they did it very, very well. It was hard for me to really enjoy the fight to its fullest because I was like, fucking Deku's gonna lose All for One. Like, that's my favorite character. He loses All for One. He's not gonna be a hero. He doesn't have a fucking quirk. Like, that's it. So it's hard for me to enjoy the fight at first. They gave some fucking half-assed explanation as to why he got to keep All For One and why Bakugo didn't after the fight's over. It was Bakugo passed out from all of the fucking damage and shit that was going on. So the transformation wasn't complete. So therefore All For One stayed with Deku. Which didn't really make sense to me either. It was
that
really
doesn't feel satisfying.
No, it was really half-assed. But seeing both of them use All For One at 100% of its power to fight together against this guy was pretty fucking intense. Like, holy shit, did they pull out all the tricks for animation in this motherfucking movie. I was like, God damn. So that made the fight a little hard to watch because, like, Deku, I know what you're thinking, but don't do it. Don't do it,
you
Deku.
You can't do this.
I need you, Deku. Like, you're my favorite part of the show. Like, there's so many times we're watching filler episodes and Deku's not in them. I'm like, there's not enough Deku. I need more Deku than this. Like, this isn't happening.
I don't know why the hell I'm watching
working.
this.
Yeah, I need more Deku. I need more Deku in my life. I love Deku. But, yeah, no. And so, it was a pretty cool, interesting, like, way to look at it. And, like, Deku was all sad because he's sitting there talking to All Might and he's all fucked up. He's like, I'm sorry. And he starts crying. He's like, I know you gave it to me, but this is the only way I could think to beat him. I couldn't think of anything else. He could handle me at 100%, but he couldn't handle both of us at 100%. And All Might starts crying, and he's like, I don't regret giving you my power. He's like, you used it exactly the way you should have, which was doing what you had to do to save people. You saved the entire island, not a single civilian died. Like, you did what you were supposed to do. Type deal. And I was like, no. And then, like, Deku passes out, and then All Might's just sitting there kind of like tearing up and crying a little bit. And then all of a sudden he sees the One For All just kind of coursing through Deku's veins. And it lights up through his skin whenever he's like activating. And so it was activating to kind of help heal him. And then he saw that it wasn't activating through Bakugo. And then that's when he noticed that obviously it didn't actually transfer over. And then he gives us the whole, oh, well, Bakugo must have passed out before the whole thing was complete. So therefore he doesn't actually have it. Which is funny because then Bakugo wakes up. And he's not used to this fucking quirk either. So both of his arms are completely blown to shit. And he's freaking the fuck out like, what the fuck happened to me? And he has no memory of him getting One For All or anything. So he's just sitting here with two busted fucking arms, not knowing what the fuck happened, which is fucking hilarious. Because I know you don't know Bakugo, but his whole thing is like, he wants to be a hero. He wants to be the best. He looks up to people like All Might. But he's a prick about it to the point where, like, he's just very cocky. And he says stuff that a hero wouldn't say. Like, when he's fighting a villain and shit like that, he'll literally be like, now die! And shit like that. Stuff that a hero wouldn't say. But he's just that cocky. And so everybody always makes fun of him because, like, they're doing this one extra, so they have to save civilians. And he's all like, shut up and get over here. And then they're all like, that's not very hero-like, Bakugo. Like, they always fuck with him. And it's like, I don't care. Like, whenever he actually won the contest, he was so mad because the dude chose not to use he's going against Todoroki and he wanted Todoroki to go all out on him, but Todoroki chooses not to use his fire side because he hates his dad, because his dad basically paid for an arranged marriage with his mother to make the perfect child. He wanted to, like, breed the perfect hero child to surpass and be number one. Yeah. And so
creepy and not cool.
Todoroki hates his fucking dad because his dad's the number 2 hero of all time. His name's Endeavor, and he's just all fire. So he refuses to use his fire because his dad ended up putting his mom in, like, a mental institute, and, like, he never gets to see his mom. So he's like, I'll get to the top spot and be the number 1 hero using just her power. But it actually puts him at a disadvantage because he uses so much of the ice, his overall body temperature gets really low, and he has to stop to where he can use the flames to heat himself up and continue to keep going. So he actually puts himself at a disadvantage by not using it, but he just physically won't fucking do it. And then Deku, once again, being a badass like he always is, he's upset because he's like, Todoroki, we're all here giving it our all because they're fighting each other. We're here giving our all. I'm literally destroying my entire fucking body. And he was doing some crazy shit because he knew his punches would knock his arms completely out. So he was just using his fingers to flick the actual power and just busting his fingers. So that way he still had his arms intact. And it got to the point where he was, like, reusing fingers, and then he couldn't fucking reuse his fucking fingers anymore. So he started putting his thumbs, like, in his fucking cheek and flicking it out of his fucking mouth to use his fucking thumbs to do all for one. Like he goes all out. Like he doesn't fuck around. And like he's like, you stand here acting like you're the best and you've got just one half of your power you're using. He's like, but look at me, I might be beaten up and damaged, but you haven't put a single scratch on me. I was like, oh shit. And so then Deku's all like, use your power. It's yours, not his. You let him win by choosing to be at a lower status than you are. Use your power. And so Todoroki goes, fine, you wanted it, you're going to get it. And he goes like all out with fire and ice, and they blow up the whole fucking arena that they're in, basically. And the teachers have to stop the fucking fight. Like, it goes that crazy. So Bakugo wants him to do that against him, and he refuses to use his fire because he doesn't know how he feels about it. He's like, I don't know if I should have done that, So he only uses ice. Bakugo beats him easily, and it pisses Bakugo off. So at the award ceremony, they got Bakugo in first place. And because he wouldn't stop fucking screaming and shit, they literally have his mouth bound and gagged. And they have him like in fucking handcuffs. And he's sitting there like freaking out and screaming. And fucking All Might goes to put the medal on him. And he's just yelling at him. He's like, don't you dare put that medal on me. I didn't win it. He's like, fuck you, Icy Hot. That's what he calls Todoroki. That's the kind of character Bakugo is. It's fucking hilarious. He fucking cracks me up. At first,
God,
just like,
as somebody who does not watch this show, the whole like he's breaking every finger he has, and then he's re-breaking his fingers, and it's like nuts. This sounds dark and morbid. Jesus,
it's nuts. It's a kid who really wants to show the person that gave him his power that he deserves to be there, and he knows that if he uses both of his arms right out the bat, that he's going to be out of the fight. So he starts using his fingers because Todoroki's very good with his ice, and he makes these gigantic icicles that come out of the ground, and he's very fast. So Deku is using the gust of One For All coming off of his finger to break through the ice. That's how strong this fucking power is. And that's why he's just breaking his fucking fingers, because he knows if he busts both of his fucking arms, he's out. That's it. There's nothing more he can fucking do.
Yeah.
And then he's just going to get his ass kicked, and he's trying to make it as far as he can with the power. Because that was the first thing that he learned as soon as he got into the school. His teacher, Mr. Aizawa, which is a fucking awesome person, his name is Eraserhead, his hero name, and if he stares at someone, he can take away their quirk completely. They can't use it.
Whoa.
But the moment he blinks, they get it back.
So it's okay.
Yeah, it's not permanent, it's temporary.
So he's got to do some staring contests.
Right. So he was wanting everybody to kind of evaluate where they're at, and he has this baseball that if you throw it, it's got a tracker in it, it's just how far it went. He's like, use your quirk to throw it. And Deku goes to throw it, and it only goes like 3 feet. And all of a sudden, that's when you first see Eraserhead's power. He took Deku's power away. He's like, let me tell you something. I understand that you say your body isn't able to hold your quirk. Use this, but if you break yourself, you're going home. I'm expelling you, and you're done.
Oh.
Because you're not going to be worth it to anybody. If you destroy your body, you're going to get other heroes killed, and you're going to not be able to save the civilians you want to save. You don't belong here. So then that's when Deku first notices that he has to learn how to control it, and he can't. So whenever he goes to throw the ball, he doesn't use one. This kid's so fucking smart. He goes to throw the ball, and at the last possible second of contact, where the ball's just against the tip of his pointer finger, he then activates One For All, and it only busts the tip of his finger. And the ball goes fucking flying like 700 something feet. And he looks at fucking Aizawa, and he's all like, you told me if I busted myself, I'd have to go home, but I'm still standing. And Aizawa's just like, I like this kid. Like, I was like,
he listens.
Exactly. So it's actually pretty fucking awesome. It's a really good anime. It's really good. But yeah.
Does he heal quickly? Like, is regeneration something? Or
so they have a little old lady. She's probably like up to my knee. A little old lady called Recovery Girl. And she can heal you by kissing you. So you have this old lady that does like these gigantic kissy lips on your cheek, and it speeds up your body's natural regeneration. And she's like the school registered nurse.
So everybody has to go make out with Kissy Girl.
Basically, yes. Recovery.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty funny because like the kids.
How the hell did that get written into this anime? That's so weird.
It's just like a kiss on the cheek, but still, it's pretty fucking funny because like all the kids act like it's gross. They're like, ah, and like because it does that, there's actually repercussions. She can only heal so much. So like Deku's had to use his power multiple times to get himself out of bad situations where he's got like actual permanent scars and shit on his arms and his hands because of how much damage her quirk actually does to your body, speeding up your stuff like that. Like you're completely worn the fuck out. It breaks down
Yeah.
your body's, fucking overall endurance and shit. Yeah, it's nuts.
Jeez.
It's an interesting show.
It's
really,
interesting
really
that they've
cool.
got a lot of consequences built into this show.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be curious to see if because when you have consequences built into an anime, oftentimes the consequences don't apply to your main character. You pick one person, you're like, nothing matters, like nothing will hurt them. Or if it does, they magically find a way out of it. Like the best example I have of this is The Dark Knight. He ends up with a broken back,
Right.
and then he just does a bunch of like pull-ups and push-ups, and he's fine. Like, great narrative, cool, great movies. But let's be real. If someone breaks your back and you have that kind of spinal damage, you're not going to be fighting bad guys.
No,
Like, that's
you're done.
not in your future because you are permanently weakened. Your spinal column, those nerves, like, there's problems there. And you will most likely end up like incontinent. Excuse me, I almost said incompetent. You'll most likely end up incontinent if you're able to walk. Like,
Right.
just no. And so some of my favorite novels, there have been permanent consequences for everybody, including your main characters. And that's very hard to write, but
Right.
it's very interesting as a reader to be in a universe where the permanent consequences change the narrative. And you see your main character go through something different or fail in a moment where they ideally wouldn't when the stakes are high because there are consequences. And so I'll be curious to see if this, as you continue telling me about My Hero Academia, if that is true in this universe.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Is that at one point Deku, they're trying to figure out super moves and stuff like that, and he's trying to think like, I'm barely able to master One for All as it is, just using it. Like he finally figures out versus just trying to use One for All and just focusing it in his fists to focus it over his whole body. So he calls it full cowling, and he'll go One for All full cowling like 5%, and then he's actually able to move around with it. The most he's gotten up to is 20%, being able to master 20% of his own power. The cool part is that he was still fucking his shit up whenever he would actually get into a tough spot and lose control and just put like 100% into an arm or something and blow it out. He then found out that he actually is stronger in his legs and he needed to stop acting like All Might, because All Might goes around punching everything, that maybe he should be more of a shoot style is what he calls it, using his legs. So he focuses it a lot more in his legs and his overall body versus just putting it into his arms, because All Might's fucking buff as shit whenever he's like full thing. And the reason with All Might, the reason why he can't do it anymore is he actually got into a huge fight with All for One, and like it basically destroyed. It was such a big fight. He lost a lung, or half a lung, 3/4 of his stomach, and his liver. So he's all fucked up. So
he lost his liver.
I don't know if it's his liver. I can't remember everything.
I was gonna say,
but whatever he could
one of
lose
those
without
things
it
you
actually.
cannot lose.
Okay, well then it's not a liver. But anyways, so he's got like this huge fucking like basically a hole in his fucking body is almost what it looks like. And he's real fucking skinny and scrawny. So he's only big and buff for 3 hours a day is all he can manage, and then his body reverts him back to his normal little pathetic size. Which is why he was looking for a successor.
Yeah, he's been so beat up. He's like, I need to pass this on, or it's never gonna get
actual
anywhere.
hero form, the dude's like fucking built like a goddamn tank. He's huge, like fucking huge. And Deku's just not. He's physically not big. So that's why he had to like learn something different, which was very interesting and very cool. But something that I find very interesting with the show that I think you would like as well, because it's something that isn't done very well a lot, but when it is, it makes the anime great. And another anime that I can directly compare this to is One Punch Man. Whenever a show writes in an unbeatable character, physically unbeatable character, but they do it in a way to where they either, one, can make the character, even though they're unbeatable, not necessarily useless, but not relevant, or two, do it in a way that moves the story along, and it's not in a Dragon Ball Z fashion, to where it's like the next enemy is just a stronger power level type deal, and then they'll have to overcome that power level, and then the next enemy is a stronger power level type deal, and then they'll have to overcome that power level. All Might is that character. Like in the first couple seasons, or first couple episodes, everybody's struggling, and then All Might shows up, and it's almost like One Punch Man. He can just fucking Carolina smash and then knock someone the fuck out, and that's done. All of his moves are named after the United States. It's pretty fucking great because he's actually from Japan,
Okay.
obviously, and he does a student intern when he's in college over in America, and he gets real famous over there. And he one of his first ones he names after his sidekick Shield, which he doesn't have sidekick later on in the show, but in that movie he did. It was the first movie they came out with, and he named it after his California. So he's like California Smash. So he's got there's so many times where I was just waiting for him to say Texas. I was like, I want to see the Texas Smash, dude. Fuck yeah,
Oh
it's so
God.
great. But his final move, whenever he fucking uses it against fucking One for All, is United States of Smash. And
Oh,
God,
you told me about
damn,
this.
does he fuck shit up. That was fucking nuts. It sounds so dumb, but goddamn, was
does.
that one of the coolest fucking anime scenes I've ever seen in my life. Because
Ugh.
he literally is losing his hero form, and everybody in the world is seeing it for the first time because this fight's being like broadcasted across the whole nation.
Whoa.
And he literally has just enough One for All in one arm. And he literally switches it from his right arm and moves it into his left to dodge a hit from All for One, who's fucking built like a tank at this point because all the quirks he's stolen. And then moves it back into that arm to be able to catch him in the face. And it's like just having that will in your head to be able to do that in that moment, in that time, being as beat up and shit as he is. And he just catches him in the face, and that's when he's all like, "You're done, United States of Smash," and brings his ass down. I was like, fuck yes, dude. Get him, All Might. Oh, it was so cool. And that was
See,
it.
every now and then I think about like the voice actors behind anime where they're screaming things like United
Yes,
States of
yes.
Smash into a mic. And I have to know, like, when they do this, do they have a moment where they're like, this is gonna sound fucking stupid. Doesn't
Well,
matter
lucky for
what
them,
I do.
the person that voices All Might's the same person that voiced Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. So he's used to saying shit like Gallic Gun and Big Bang and shit like that. So he's pretty used to saying some pretty fucking crazy out
Like-
there moves. Our character names like Kakarot and shit like that. So
Oh God. I go into the sound booth, I make random ass noises, I come out, people pay me. Alright.
yeah, must be nice. Must be nice. But yeah, and the coolest part about that was like he's like in his small form, and he literally just points his hand up at the camera, and he's not even looking at the camera, and he's all like, "Now it's your turn," and everybody's all like, "Oh, well, he's just obviously threatening any other villains that are out there," but it's like obviously he's telling Deku like, "That was it. I have no more left in
done.
me. I'm done. It's now your turn. You need to hurry up and become the symbol of peace, not justice. Symbol of peace. That's what it is." I was like, justice doesn't sound right. Symbol of peace. You have to become the symbol of peace now, because all these fucking villains are going to start coming out of the woodwork now that they know that All Might officially doesn't have that power anymore,
Yep.
because that's who they've been hiding from this whole time. What's really funny is they one of my the YouTube channels that I watch, Something Witty Entertainment, that makes a bridge series, they actually started making one for My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody hates All Might, and I fucking love it. In the abridged, everybody hates All Might. Like in the show, he's the number one hero. Everybody fucking loves him. Everybody hates him in the fucking abridged series. So like his first fight, he literally punches so hard and does like a Carolina smash that he makes it fucking rain. It physically rains. And in the anime, you're like, that is cool as fuck. He literally changed the fucking weather with the fucking smash. And fucking literally in the fucking abridged, I was trying to keep it going. I was trying. But in the fucking abridged, he does it. And everybody's like, way to go, All Might. Way to fucking make it rain. What a dick. I was gonna go to the beach today, and now I fucking can't. It's hilarious. Everybody fucking hates All Might. And then it just zooms in on All Might, and it's all like, it's okay, All Might. You can cry. The rain will hide your tears. It's so fucking good. The rain will hide your tears. Oh my
funny.
gosh, it's so fucking great. But he's just so fucking cool. Oh my gosh, he's just got so many good like fucking hero lines, and it's great. But the one thing that kind of gets me, because I've never heard it before, their motto is "Go Beyond plus Ultra." That's just their thing. So the students say it all the time. They're like, "Plus Ultra" or "Go Beyond plus Ultra." And he does it every time he actually activates One for All, because it does this whole like space theme where you see this fucking little dot that's glowing go to the next glowing dot that's a different color than the next one, and it's passing through all the people, and then All Might just grabs it and his whole fist lights up and he brings it down and smashes into somebody. Yeah, and that's probably like my favorite scene where I became like an All Might fan was he's fighting this Noma monster and he throws him down, and the entire doing he's doing this hero monologue, and he's all like, "Now you may have heard this once before, but let me tell you what it truly means." And then he just starts going off, and then he does the plus ultra. That was when I knew it was Vegeta. The entire time I couldn't tell.
You could hear it.
But whenever he does the whole plus ultras, he's like knocking him out of the fucking stadium. I was like, that sounded like Vegeta going, Gallic Gun! And I was like, I gotta look this shit up, and I look it up, and sure enough, it was the same voice actor, and I was like, motherfucking Vegeta, dude. Alright, I get behind that. I like Vegeta. I like
you know how you want me to watch this?
Yeah, there's no
You
point.
you know how to get me to watch it, don't you?
No.
Next time I am at your place,
Force
just
it.
say, hey, I just need to show this to you real fast. That's how you've gotten me into other shows. I've
is
just
true.
been captive
I have
at
done
your
that.
house, and it worked because once
Yeah,
you
I
showed
have
me an
done that.
episode, I was like, I have to watch the rest of this, and just went into it. So just letting you know, that is how you get me to watch shows.
Wink,
you
wink over
as
here. Jesus.
a captive audience.
Wink, wink over here. It's a fucking great show. I think you would really enjoy the anime. I think it's really well done. The writing is really, really good because there's so many parts. In my opinion, there's so many parts that they could have fucked themselves over. Because I don't know if I told you, but the original manga got like rejected.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah, because
nobody
Deku
was
was
interested.
a 40-year-old man going to school, high school, with a bunch of fucking kids that are trying to
That
be
feels
heroes,
weird.
and he didn't have a quirk. It was like, yeah, it was really weird.
Why would he be there? That's very bizarre.
Exactly. I know. Especially whenever you have some of these students, and obviously, just like every anime, there's the pervy character. There's always a pervy character. Always. In this one, it's Mineta, this little fucker, this little dwarf guy. He's the worst. I fucking hate Mineta so much.
I know you've told me that he's bad, and then they tone him down. So
Yeah. Well, no. I told you that about Meliodas, because I told you needed to watch Seven
Oh,
Deadly
yeah, that
Sins, which is the Netflix original anime. God damn, is that anime good? But I'm really worried about the new season. They showed some clips of like the animation, and it looks terrible.
Oh,
There's
no.
some scenes where people are all like, "Who did the intern do this fucking scene?" Like it looks bad, Kelsey. Like real
no.
bad. And I'm like, no, I need this to be good. Oh.
I feel like you can improve a style to make it better. I'm thinking, of course, of RWBY, where they started out with a very low budget and they just made it like work. And
Yeah,
whenever
new
I
seasons
show
are
people
amazing.
RWBY,
Yeah.
people are just like, I'm not sure I can get behind this. And I'm like, just trust me.
That was my
because
first words watching RWBY. I was
gets
like,
better.
I literally saw the animation for like the first 10 seconds. I was like, oh, I don't know about this.
But you can't, like, partway through an anime, you can't fuck with the animation style. If you
No.
change it significantly, you will lose audience members because anime viewers are not only there for the story, they're also there for your art.
Yeah.
And they're experiencing that in a very real way.
Mhm.
And you can't just like fuck around with that.
No,
you just can't.
You can't. Yeah, it's actually funny because the guy that I like the most out of that show, I can't let that be my favorite person because it's Dylan's favorite person, and I've always said I could never have the same favorite character as Dylan. Just I can't.
Are you 8?
I know, right? This
What
guy,
the hell, Chris?
This guy fits my personality to a T. He is so cocky. He is literally the lion sin of pride. So the way he talks is great. They have this the 10 commandments or whatever break loose, and there's these demons. And if you go against their commandment, it has like serious repercussions. Like you could just die. And so one of the guys is I can't remember what his fucking commandment is, but basically it's like you can't hold your weapon if you have hatred in your heart against them. If you have any hatred against them, you can't raise like a weapon to harm him or anything.
Okay.
And so, like, all these people are dropping their weapons and they can't even make a fist or anything. They're like, we can't even move. What are we supposed to do? And then Lionson Escanor comes walking up to him with this gigantic axe in his hand. And the guy's all like, how are you able to walk up against me? He's all like, He's all like, anyone who is anyone who fears me and has hatred in their heart can't hold their weapon against me. And he's all like, why should I fear someone who is as puny and pathetic as you are? I have no hate in my heart for you. I have, or what is it? It's like disappointment or some shit. And he's all, yeah, pity. He's all like, I have nothing but pity for a man your size. And then he's all like, how prideful. He's like, that is exactly who I am. You are facing the lion Sin Escanor. But he's like, he doesn't have a cocky voice or attitude. He just sounds like he's that confident in what he's saying all the time. Like this regal knight type deal. He doesn't sound like a cocky prick like you would think at all. He just sounds, it's fucking weird, but it works. It fucking works. He cracks me the fuck up. There's just so many times where it's just like, he's just so cocky, and I'm like, he's a perfect guy. But Dylan was like, yeah, it's my favorite. I was like, fuck. All right, I guess I'm going after Merlin. Merlin's my favorite.
Don't be 8. You can have the same favorite. It's okay. You guys can agree occasionally.
It's actually funny about this. I was actually talking about this to my mom the other day. Was that usually when you grow up with a sibling, because you're only child, right?
I am.
When growing up with a sibling, that happens a lot. Where you fight over your favorite character, your favorite toy, da-da-da-da-da. Me and my brother have never been those kids. We've always liked separate shit. Like when Dragon Ball Z came out, I was a Goku fan. He was Piccolo. Like we've never liked the same character. So maybe this is just like the inner child in me wanting that interaction. And I finally have it with like Dylan where he picks the same character. I'm like, you can't do that. Fuck off. Like, nah. Or it's like I'm giving him one. Like, okay, you have Escanor, but the next time this happens, I'm taking it. You fuck off. You go find somebody else. So, because I don't like any other Sin, really, I don't. Like, I like them to the point where like they're entertaining to me. But Merlin is the closest that I like to Escanor. But Escanor is easily my fucking favorite because he matches my personality with the fucking cocky just jackass. It's fucking perfect. Oh my god, it's so great. And he cracks me up because like whenever it's daytime, because he basically his superpower is the sun. When it's daytime, he's huge. When it's nighttime, he's like this small little. He looks like Luigi from Mario Bros. Just with orange hair and orange mustache.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So like he's this small little guy. So like the first time you see him fighting, he's fighting against this fucking demon, one of the 10 Commandments, Galen, who it's like if you lie in front of him, you turn to stone.
Ooh.
So he's like, let's play a game. You can't run away, and we'll just strike each other, and the first one to die dies. And if you try to run away, obviously you'll turn to stone. So he's already said yes to it, so they got to do it. And so like he goes to hit him, but what he did before that was he fucked up and cut. They were inside of a mountain because he had made a mountain, like a bar inside of a mountain. So he cut the top off the mountain. So now the sun's shining, and he goes to hit Escanor, and it barely goes into him. And Escanor just starts laughing, and so then he fucking like hits him back and cuts the fucking demon directly in half. And the demon like pulls himself back together and starts laughing, goes into his ultimate like form and goes to hit Escanor, and it barely makes a fucking dent into his skin. Escanor's not wearing armor. He's not even wearing a shirt at this point because his muscles have done ripped the fucking shirt off. And then Escanor gets into like his full power mode where he's like fucking 20,000 feet tall and it's about to hit this demon, and he goes running away and turns to stone. And Escanor's like, not even a demon can stand up to the lion sin of pride.
Oh god,
it's so great. Honestly, he's perfect. He's so good. Yes, that character would get on your nerves quickly.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
So good. Oh, but they have fun with it too, because like he's in love with Merlin, and they have fun with it too. So like the captain of the Sins is known for making shitty food. And he makes like this apple pie. And fucking Escanor, he's like, come on, try it. And Merlin's like, well, I guess I'll try it. And she goes, try it. And he's like, no, I, Escanor, the lion sin of pride, am supposed to keep Merlin safe at all times. I will be the one to try this pie. So he grabs the pie and he takes a bite and then throws the fuck up everywhere because it tastes like shit. It's so funny. Yeah, he's got a huge crush on Merlin. Huge crush. Oh. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. That one, Meliodas, the captain, the main character that everybody loved, which is weird that they did that, but they made the main character the pervy character. I'm not used to that. Usually the pervy character is always like a sidekick.
Yeah, usually not even a
Yeah.
that powerful sidekick because somebody
Yeah.
comes along and kicks his ass at some point for being weird.
Yeah, it's Meliodas, the main guy. The first 3 episodes are real pervy, like real pervy.
Oh,
They turn it,
no.
they tone it down after that, but it's still pretty. I guess the best word to use is gropey. It's very gropey. But to be fair, it's only to one chick, and she likes him. So it's not like it's against her will. Like at first, it's kind of like a maybe he should be doing that. They don't know each other that well, but she's clearly in love with him, so she doesn't mind. But it's still weird.
If it's a if it's a facet of their relationship that they've both consented to, like I'm gonna touch you in public, this is no longer pervy and gropey. This is them having some PDA.
She just does the Sir Meliodas. Oh.
Please never use that voice.
That's
again.
literally what she sounds like. I kid you not. I literally said we should take a shot every time she says those fucking words. Because every time he touches her or anything, she's like, Sir Meliodas. Like every fucking time. Every fucking time.
Do not like.
It's hilarious.
Blech.
But one of them that will get you really good, and it's easily the most pervy thing that ever happened. It was episode 3. Is he takes her panties off without her noticing. She thinks he's just grabbing her ass. And then they get into a forest where these demons can transform into whatever they see. So they make 100 of her. And he knew that they were going to run into these demons and they might try to use her against him. So then he's all like, oh, look, it's a whole bunch of Elizabeths wanting my attention. So everybody put one hand up, making them do all this stuff. He's like, now everybody jump in the air. And obviously she's not going to because she realizes she doesn't have panties. So she just falls to the ground. It's like, I can't, while all the other ones jump in the air. And it's all like, ha! And then he kills all of them. And then she stands up and he's like, here, you can have these back now. And gives her panties back.
Yeah. That's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the worst of it. That is 100% the worst of it. Then it goes way down. It was like they tested the bounds and they're like, we might have crossed a line here, and then they went way down. Like
there was a line
down.
Shit.
It went directly back to we're just gonna let him grope her every once in a while, and that is it. Oh, God. I just thought it was gonna keep going up. I'm like, God damn. I was like, sooner or later it's just gonna be fucking X-rated goddamn anime. Holy shit. And this is Netflix original? Oh shit. Oh well, what you gonna do?
I'm recovering from that statement. Story.
Yeah, it's a good anime though. Like I said, it gets really good. But the first 3 episodes were very cringy to get past with all the groping and other sexual natured things. So yeah, he's a little pervy. But yeah, My Hero Academia, you gotta watch it. It's great. It's great. And anybody who's watching this and wants to go see the movie, go see the movie. I can't recommend it enough. It was really cool. The movie theater that I live by, they were showing the first movie in their bar. So I got to sit there because I showed up 30 minutes early. Oh, cool. Yeah, I showed up 30 minutes early to order food and stuff like that, so I wouldn't miss anything. And so as I was waiting for my food, I got to just sit there and watch the first movie, which is really, really cool. And yeah, it was fun. It was a good watch. But like I said earlier, they're if you didn't stay for the spoilers, there might be some spoilers. Just be aware. There might be some spoilers. I can't tell you for certain or not because I haven't seen the latest 2 episodes. But as of right now, where I'm at in the story, which literally just finished the filler episodes, yeah, that's all I gotta say. All I know is like when I saw the doctor, I was like, the fuck. So yeah, I was like, is this from the manga? Because I don't read it. So I like the show. I'm an anime watcher, not a manga reader. This is bullshit. Oh well, I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see what happens. I don't know how to deal with it. So, but oh well. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So I rambled on about anime long enough.
You really did.
I'm just gonna go watch
I had like
anime.
2 stories I was gonna tell, and you were like, "Anime." And I was
like,
all right,
you should have interrupted
me. Where we live.
You should have interrupted me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, "Shut up, Chris. Let me tell my story." No.
Well,
I'll save him for next time.
We will find out in the next episode of the Ted Funny Podcast, Kelsey Stories. But if you enjoyed this content, make sure you like, subscribe. Also, turn on the notifications that way you get notified when we upload another video. My My Hero Academia fans, because there's a lot of you out there, you guys comment about this fucking content all the time. I want to see some of you motherfuckers in the comments on this video. All right, tell me you're gonna go watch the movie. Tell me you're not. Let me know about the canon aspect. If you've seen the movie, let's fucking talk about it. All right, put it in the comment section below. I'll have a comment conversation with you. All right, you guys always like, oh, I want more My Hero Academia stuff. Sorry, only me and Brandon watch it. No one else watches it. So I forced Kelsey to have a My Hero conversation with me. Show me some
I did
love.
not add anything.
Show me some love and put it in the comment section below. All right? Come on. Interact with me. I want to talk about My Hero Academia with people who watch the show. And you guys always want to hear our thoughts. That's the best way you'll get my real life thoughts on your questions. I don't know your questions right now, but I could if you would comment below. Right below. Anyways. Twitters, Twitches, those are down there as well. But at the end of all this, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.